Welcome to Miss Evans's European History. Today we'll learn about the people and ideas that transformed Europe. By the early 1500s, growing numbers of Europeans believed that the Catholic Church needed reform. Critics condemned corruption and abuses, including the sale of indulgences. Indulgences were church grants that reduced the temporal punishment believed to remain after sins had been forgiven. But their sale led some people to believe that spiritual benefits could be purchased. Others questioned certain church teachings and the authority of the Pope. Today we'll hear about reformers such as Martin Luther and John Calvin and how they challenged Catholic teachings and established new Christian traditions. In England, King Henry VIII rejected papal authority and established the Church of England. These challenges produced a major division within Western Christianity. The new churches became known collectively as Protestant churches, transforming the religious and political history of Europe. Initially, Martin Luther wanted to get rid of corruption and restore the people's faith in the Catholic Church. Thanks to Gutenberg's printing press, Luther's beliefs spread quickly. When Luther's ideas were printed and spread, it sparked one of the biggest religious changes in history. People started to form their own beliefs outside the Catholic tradition. Prior to the printing press, scribes, often monks in monasteries, worked for hours each day to copy a book. Each copy of a book could take months or even years to complete. Since each book was copied by hand, errors were common, and no two copies were exactly alike. Because production was slow and costly, books were rare and expensive, typically owned only by churches, royalty, or the wealthy elite. The printing press changed all of that, making it a major turning point in history. After its invention, books could be produced faster and at a lower cost, greatly increasing access to knowledge. While studying the Bible, Martin Luther came to believe that salvation was granted by God's grace and received through faith in Jesus Christ, not earned through good works. He taught that good deeds could not bring salvation without genuine faith. Instead, good works should flow from a person's faith. Pope Leo X, a member of the wealthy and influential Medici family, ordered Martin Luther to recant many of his teachings. Luther publicly burned the papal document threatening him with excommunication, and having responded that way, Pope Leo X formally excommunicated him in 1521. Later that year, Luther appeared before the Diet of Worms, where he again refused to recant. Emperor Charles V declared him an outlaw. For his protection, Luther's supporter, Frederick the Wise of Saxony, arranged for him to be hidden at Wartburg Castle. While there, Luther translated the New Testament from Greek into German, allowing more German-speaking people to read the Bible and helping his religious ideas spread. Luther's ideas gained the support of several German princes, some of whom were motivated by religious conviction, while others saw an opportunity to increase their political independence and gain control over church lands. Luther's teachings were adopted in many German territories, where local rulers and church leaders reorganized religious practices according to Lutheran beliefs. Lutheranism became one of the first major Protestant traditions, It officially separated from the Roman Catholic Church and eventually gained legal recognition within the Holy Roman Empire through the Peace of Augsburg in 1555. John Calvin was one of the Protestant Reformation's most influential leaders. Like Martin Luther, he taught that salvation came through faith rather than good works, but he placed greater emphasis on predestination, the belief that God had already determined who would be saved. Calvin helped transform Geneva into a model Protestant community governed by ministers and elected elders and guided by strict moral standards. His teachings spread throughout Europe and influenced Reformed churches, French Huguenots, Dutch Calvinists, Scottish Presbyterians, and later Puritans. Calvinism also contributed to ideas about representative church government and resistance to unjust rulers, making Calvin second only to Luther in his lasting influence on Protestantism. So, the Protestant Reformation led to a major split in Christianity. On one side is Catholicism, and on the other is Protestantism, which later divided into many different denominations and branches.